Before we get started, I would like for everybody to push the like button, subscribe to my channel, tell me if you like what you see, leave positive comments. We will acknowledge you. This morning is a very interesting subject that I discovered online, and I want to let y'all listen to it and tell me if y'all think this is relevant or not.
Out of discussing this by people who say it's slut shaming or it's not relevant. It is relevant when a young candidate tries to sleep her way into politics and into power. And that is what it appears Kamala Harris did when she was a young political aspirant in San Francisco, when she had an affair with a man 30 years older than she was. She was 29 to 30 and he was 60. Willie Brown, who was like the godfather of San Francisco politics and very well known. And sure enough, that relationship paid dividends for her in more ways than one.
That's right, Megan. As you noted yesterday, it's completely fair game to talk about Willie Brown. It's how Kamala Harris went from a relatively unknown Alameda County prosecutor to the forefront of San Francisco's social life and politics.
For real?
Willie Brown was the most powerful politician in California when Kamala Harris started dating him. And he also gave her a number of positions. We're talking about $400,000 back in the 1990s. That's almost $400,000 in today's money. He appointed her to those positions that paid her lucratively. He gave her the keys to BMW, and he went around to the most powerful and most wealthy circles of San Francisco and California.
Those folks dirty.
With Kamala Harris on his arm, opening up the doors to her.
No, I think to clear.
So it was back when, again, she was 30 years old. He was, at the time, Democratic Speaker of the California State Assembly, quoting here from Washington Examiner, which was very good. The position that he gave her on the California Medical Assistance Commission in 1994 paid at that time over $70,000 a year, which is $120,000 in current money. And she served.
Come on in, y'all. Push the like button. Subscribe to the channel.
Years. That medical commission meant.
Please subscribe to the channel.
So
love, like, subscribe.
A month, she was getting the equivalent of $120,000. And you know why Democrats in San Francisco were mad about it? It wasn't because she wasn't qualified. It was because those positions are supposed to be saved for only the most prized Democrats who Willie Brown really owed favors to.
Willie Brown owed a lot of favors.
Amazing things. Willie Brown in power. But instead, he gave one to his lover. He was, by the way, still married, though he was reportedly estranged from his wife for a long time. So, but this was technically an extramarital relationship.
You know I'm lying to people watching you do that, right?
He gave one of his choice grifting.
That's why I'm trying to. I'm like, wow. Yeah, I got 3 mirrors in here.
Not just that, there was another one. He gave her second position as well.
You could have told me. I was trying to tell you that when I told you I was live. I thought you had the conscience of what's going on in here.
She was off the races in politics. And then Willie Brown was on record saying, I also then helped her with her next big position, which was becoming San Francisco
with 363 likes.
Right, when she ran for district attorney and they had broken up, Willie Brown, as soon as he ran and won in San Francisco election, he broke up with Kamala. And then, Kamala was there for the victory party, but by the time the inauguration hit, his estranged wife reappeared to be holding the Bible while he took the oath of office.
So did y'all hear what happened? We're going to start this video over because y'all wasn't in the beginning.
I will not be shamed out of discussing this by people who say it's slut shaming or it's not relevant. It is relevant when a young candidate tries to sleep her way into politics and into power. And that is what it appears Kamala Harris did when she was a young political aspirant in San Francisco. When she had an affair with a man 30 years older than she was. She was 29 to 30 and he was 60. Willie Brown, who was like the godfather of San Francisco politics and very well known. And sure enough, that relationship paid dividends for her in more ways than one.
That's right, Megan. As you noted yesterday, it's completely fair game to talk about Willie Brown. It's how Kamala Harris went from a relatively unknown Alameda County prosecutor to the forefront of San Francisco's social life and politics. Willie Brown was the most powerful politician in California when Kamala Harris started dating her.
Willie Brown.
He also gave her a number of positions. We're talking about $400,000 back in the 1990s.
Willie Brown gave Kamala Harris $400,000.
In today's money.
That's $800,000 in today's money.
He gave her the keys to a BMW.
A BMW.
Around to the most powerful and most wealthy circles of San Francisco and California politics, with Kamala Harris on his arm, opening up the doors to her professional and political future.
What?
So it was back when, again, she was 30 years old. He was, at the time, Democratic Speaker of the California State Assembly, quoting here from a Washington Examiner piece, which is very good. The position that he gave her on the California Medical Assistance Commission in 1994 paid at that time over $70,000 a year, which is about $120,000 in current money. And she served on the board until 1998, so about 4 years. That medical commission met twice a month. So for 2 meetings a month, she was getting the equivalent of $120,000. And you know why Democrats in San Francisco were mad about it? It wasn't because she wasn't qualified, which she wasn't. It was because those positions are supposed to be saved for only the most prized Democrats who Willie Brown really owed favors to, who did really, amazing things to keep Willie Brown in power. But instead, he gave one to his lover. He was, by the way, still married, though he was reportedly estranged from his wife for a long time. So, this was technically an extramarital relationship. And they were mad that he gave one of his choice thrifting positions, not to somebody who'd done a lot for Democratic politicians, but to Kamala Harris. And not just that, there was another one. He gave her a second position as well, which was basically the same kind of deal, where he just gave her an appointment. She reaped in tons of money, and boom, Bob's your uncle. She was off to the races in Dem politics. And then Willie Brown is on record as saying, I also then helped her with her next big position, which was becoming San Francisco DA.
Right, when she ran for district attorney, and they had broken up. Willie Brown, as soon as he ran and won the San Francisco mayor election, he broke up with Kamala. And then, Kamala was there for the victory party, but by the time the inauguration hit, his estranged wife reappeared to be holding the Bible while he took the oath of office, and Kamala was kind of pushed aside. But Willie Brown didn't forget her. When Kamala decided to run for district attorney in San Francisco, he was there quietly nudging all of his wealthy donors and powerful connections to help her out. Him and Terrence Holland, the existing district attorney, were not friends anymore. They had kind of having an ugly clash. And Kamala Harris likewise tried to overthrow him on second in command, but failed miserably, and so she ended up leaving the office to kind of plot her revenge. So Willie Brown was definitely there behind the scenes, but Kamala Harris did as much as she could before the election to distance herself.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Joshua Graham, come on in. Joshua, you gonna understand, you gonna learn politics at an early age.
Willie Brown's career is over. He's done. My turn is here. It's Kamala Harris. Sounds really familiar, Megan, compared to what just happened last weekend.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the whole Democratic Party is going to be stepping all over Joe Biden momentarily. He's going to get his weekend in the sun about what a lion he is. And then as soon as they realize that they can blame everything on him and take it off of Kamala, that's what they're going to do. Every inflation that you're seeing, it's all his fault. She didn't touch it. She was just a lonely vice president. What was she supposed to do? But talk a little bit about her background, because she rose in San Francisco and then California, right, as the Attorney General, and then became a U.S. Senator from California. All she's had to do is compete, for the most part, I know there's some exceptions, against other liberals, right? Like, has she ever had to compete against a bull, like Donald Trump, like the silverback gorilla, like Donald Trump, Republican versus Dem? It's on. I realized that she ran as a vice president, but she wasn't the chief. That was really Joe Biden's fight.
Well, the interesting race is when she ran against Steve Cooley for the Attorney General position in 2010. Cooley was a relatively sensible law and order Republican from Los Angeles, and really the last meaningful Republican in California politics. And even it was a big year for Democrats. They won by double digits for California Democrats. But Kamala Harris really struggled against Steve Cooley and barely edged out a victory. And it looked like the night of the election that she had lost. And lo and behold, weeks later, they did recounts and counted all the rest of the votes, and she just barely squeaked out for victory. It was really close, and you can definitely look at that campaign and see that maybe she will be competitive in this race against Donald Trump as well. But it's hard to see that happening.
Southern guy trying to excuse her awkwardness, repeated and everywhere.
What's your credit card debt balance? If it's $10,000 or more, here are 3 easy solutions you can start implementing today. And number 3 is an absolute game changer. Number 1, the first step to tackling your credit card debt is understanding how much debt you actually have and how long it could follow you around for if you're only making minimum payments or the following time. Minimum payments could literally keep you in debt for decades. $10,000 in debt can take anywhere from 14.
As y'all can see, I ain't balling like that yet.
Excuse her awkwardness, repeated and everywhere, as she lost her footing.
As you can see, I'm not balling like that. I don't have YouTube Premium. I have YouTube, and I gotta go through the ads. So sometimes when we watching my videos, an ad might pop up, and we gotta wait like 5-6 seconds so I can skip it. I ain't balling like that yet, and I ain't got that many supporters, so I can't afford to pay for YouTube Premium. But they say once you move up the ladder and get into the YouTube, and you move up into and once they unlock some of my features, I'll be able to do that. How y'all doing? Push the like button. Show me some love. I'm trying to keep up with the likes today. I got 10 likes. I got 10 people and only 3 likes. I need 10 people and 10 likes. Or I'm going to ask you to excuse yourselves from my channel. There's no need for watching me if you can't just put a little energy in your finger and tap the screen one time for me. Tap the screen 2 times. Just tap the screen with a little love in your heart, in your mind, in your spirit. And I'ma bless you. I'ma bless you. You see this Rolls Royce right here? Do you see this Rolls Royce? The Rolls Royce key. Oh shit. What's up? How y'all doing? I say, damn.
know Magic Spoon for their popular high-protein cereal, right? It has more than 75,000 five-star reviews. Their cereal now is light, crispy, and toasty, just like those classic crunchy cereal bars. Magic Spoon's brand new treats come in 6 deliciously nostalgic.
What the hell? She talking about magic spoons, magic treats. What the hell is a magic spoon and a magic treat? Come on in, show me some love. I just want to know, do y'all know what we watching today? We are watching the real story of how Kamala Harris came into power. I need likes. I need love. I need people to show me some love. Can I get y'all to push the like button for me? I got 17 people and only 7 likes. Please push that like button. Why does she bother you so much? Who? Day drinking? Home? Yeah.
Francisco politics, and very well known. And sure, I will not be shamed out of discussing this by people who say it's slut shaming or it's not relevant. It is relevant when a young candidate tries to sleep their way into politics and into power. And that is what it appears Kamala Harris did when she was a young political aspirant in San Francisco, when she had an affair with a man 30 years older than she was. She was 29 to 30, and he was 60. Willie,
Oh!
who was like the godfather of San Francisco politics and very well known. And sure enough, that relationship paid dividends for her in more ways than one.
That's right, Megan. As you noted yesterday, it's completely fair game.
Did y'all know this?
How Kamala Harris went from a relatively unknown Alameda County prosecutor to the forefront of San Francisco's social life and politics. Willie Brown was the most powerful politician in California when Kamala Harris started dating him. And he also gave her a number of positions. We're talking about $400,000 back in the 1990s. That's almost $800,000 in today's money. He appointed her to those positions that paid her lucratively. He gave her the keys to a BMW. And he went around to the most powerful and most wealthy circles of San Francisco and California politics with Kamala Harris on his arm, opening up the doors to her professional and political future.
So it was back when, again, she was 30 years old. He was, at the time, Democratic Speaker of the California State Assembly, quoting here from the Washington Examiner piece, which was very good. The position that he gave her on the California Medical Assistance Commission in 1994 paid at that time over $70,000 a year, which is about $120,000 in current money. And she served on the board until 1998.
Press the like button. Tell me why you don't like Kamala.
Twice a month. So for 2 meetings a month, she was getting $120,000.
Two meetings a month, she got $120,000.
She wasn't. It was because those positions are supposed to be saved. Only the most prized Democrats who Willie Brown really owed favors to, who did really, amazing things to keep Willie Brown in power. But instead, he gave them to his lover. He was, by the way, still married, though he was reportedly estranged from his wife for a long time. So, this was technically an extramarital relationship. And they were mad that he gave one of his choice grifting positions, not to somebody who'd done a lot with Democratic politicians, but to Kamala Harris. And not just that, there was another one. He gave her a second position as well, which was basically the same kind of deal. That he just gave her equipment, she reaped tons of money, and boom, Bob's your uncle. She was off to the races in gun politics. And then Willie Brown is on record as saying, I also then helped her with her next big position, which was becoming San Francisco DA.
Right, when she ran as district attorney and they broke up, Willie Brown, as soon as he ran and won the San Francisco mayoral election, he broke up with Kamala. And then, Kamala was there for the victory party, but by the time the inauguration hit, it was a strange rivalry appeared to be pulled in the battle run to the governor's office, and Kamala was kind of pushed aside. Willie Brown didn't forget her when Kamala decided to run for district attorney DeSantis is still, he was there quietly nudging all of his wealthy donors and powerful connections to help her out. Him and Terrence Allen in the existing district, because they're not friends anymore. They're kind of having an ugly clash. And Kamala Harris likewise tried to overthrow him on second in command, but failed miserably, and so she ended up leaving the office to kind of plot her revenge. So Willie Brown was definitely there behind the scenes, but Kamala Harris did as much as she could before the election to distance herself from Willie Brown. At one point, doing a very long interview with San Francisco magazine, throwing him under the bus entirely, saying, Willie Brown's career is over, he's done, hello, my turn is here, it's Kamala Harris. Sounds really familiar, Megan, compared to what just happened last weekend.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Democratic Party is stepping all over Joe Biden momentarily. He's going to get his weekend in sad about how lying he is. And then as soon as they realize that they can blame everything on him and take it off Kamala, that's what they're going to do. Every inflation that we receive, it's all his fault. She didn't touch it. She was just a lovely vice president. You know, what was she supposed to do? But talk a little bit about her background, because she was in San Francisco and then California, right, as the Attorney General, and then became a U.S. Senator for California. All she's had to do is compete, for the most part, I know there's some exceptions, against other liberals, right? Like, has she ever had to compete against a bull, you know, like Donald Trump, like the silverback gorilla, like Donald Trump, Republican versus Dem? It's odd. I realized that she ran as the vice president, but she wasn't the chief. You know, that was really Joe Biden's fight.
Well, the interesting race is when she ran against Steve Cooley for the Attorney General position in 2010. Cooley was a relatively sensible, law and order Republican from Los Angeles, and really the last meaningful Republican in California politics. And even it was a big year for Democrats. They won by double digits for California Democrats. But Kamala Harris really struggled against Steve Cooley and barely edged out a victory. It looked like the night of the election that she had lost. And lo and behold, weeks later, they did recounts and counted all the rest of the votes, and she just barely squeaked out the victory. It was really close, and you can definitely look at that campaign and see that maybe she will be competitive in this race against Donald Trump as well. But it's hard to see that happening.
Some are now trying to excuse her awkwardness, repeated and everywhere, as she lost her footing as vice president and didn't have the confidence required to really be herself, which I guess is the secret version of charming. Is there anything in her past that would shed light on what's true about her? Has she always been awkward like this, with the weird laughing and the inappropriate jokes and every time with the old attempts at profundity?
No, it's the product of being a California politician, right? When you're a California Democrat, all you have to do is impress the donors, impress the political power brokers, and kind of show up and demand a seat at the table. Willie Brown taught her how to do that. So she did have some level of that with the top donors, but she never really connected with the California people. But as we've shown earlier, you don't necessarily need to convince voters, you just need to convince the Democratic Party, and everything will fall in line for you pretty well.
Sorry, what's the pattern of the itself? Sorry, keep going, Charlie.
Yeah, and so the same thing happened when she ran for Senate. She's a very good candidate. She's very disciplined. She loves the sort of the knife fighting and the brawling. She's on the record saying she loves California politics because it's a real fight. So she is a sort of a ruthless politician, a ruthless campaigner. But after taking office, there's definitely a drop down. Once you actually have to do the job, she never seemed to take it seriously and spent more time planning for her next job. That's kind of what we saw in the first 3 years of her vice president. She really was risk averse, didn't seem to be interested in the job she had, but more interested in protecting her own political brand for the future. So I think when a politician hits that stage, the early stage of actually having to do the job, I think that's when they tend to lose their footing and stumble. And I think that's what Kamala Harris ended up looking like. And that's why her staff kind of abandoned her, because she wasn't serious about the office she was holding. And she was more interested in preparing herself to run for president.
Yeah, the reports were that she would fail to read the briefing materials that she was given by the staff, and then she would lash out at the staff for her not knowing information. And she just refused to do her homework. This wasn't in right-wing blogs that just hated Kamala Harris. This was reported, even in the mainstream, about her terrible behavior as vice president. But now, okay, so we're one day into her likely being the Democratic nominee. She does this first appearance yesterday. And this line, this soundbite, by now, you've seen it, our audience has heard it. It's everywhere. The Democrats are like, you got girl, because of this, it's sought for. In those roles, I took on perpetrators of all kinds. Predators who abuse women. Fraudsters who ripped off consumers. Cheaters who broke the rules for their own gain. So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type. Protein bars can be chewy and dense.
All right, we're gonna get to the nitty gritty and what it beholds. A lot of people don't understand the story of Kamala. Her name is Kamala. Have you ever heard of a girl named Pamela? Pamala. Okay. Same thing. Just put a P. That's Pam. Pam is Pam. Pam. Remember that. They got Pam spray. Remember the Pam spray? Like, so we cannot disclude the fact that a Pam pronounces as Pam. Her name is Kamala. Kamala Harris. And Willie Brown. A lot of people don't like that, but I like to be, technically correct. Like, I like to speak technically correct. And so many people are so lost because, first of all, in order to understand the person that you're studying, first you got to understand their name and pronounce it properly. The lady name is Kamala. Cam. Kamala. 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 It's not that hard. But everybody want to pronounce her name. Kamala. Kimela. Kamala. Like, nobody want to pronounce the black woman name properly if you want to identify her as black. But she's really not technically black. No, she's not. Her daddy is not a Bob Marley Jamaican. No, her daddy is half Indian himself. He a black Indian. They got dark-skinned Indians from India, right? He's a dark-skinned Indian from India and African and Jamaican descent. So it's like, I wonder, how can y'all tell yourselves a lie to justify a lie when we hit you with the truth right in your face and you still deny the truth and believe in a lie? Kamala is a puppet, just like Joe Biden was a puppet. Who's running our country? Because she just picked a person who was 17% likely, most likely to be picked, over a person that was 78% most likely to be picked. Who told her to make that decision? I don't think it was her. She is only being the puppet to the far right. They think that they can, beat Donald Trump by stealing the election by using mail-in ballots, by starting mail-in ballots 40 days before the election. 40 days before the election, we're going to start sending out mail-out ballots. We need to eliminate the mail-out ballot process. We need to get voter IDs connected to our real IDs. Just like California got the real ID, now they know what you are as a voter. When you go to California and vote, All you need is your ID. They didn't tell them it was a voter's ID. It was a real ID that had voters' information already logged into it from the DMV. So when you go to the voting poll, you can just use that little QR code on your ID, and you will automatically be able to vote. Your address, everything will pop up, save you a lot of time, and a lot of things that you ain't even got to worry about doing. See, a lot of people don't understand because they not in tune with life. They ain't got their finances right. So a lot of people don't want to put their name and financial information on a digital ID card to represent themselves. Like, you don't understand what this world is going, what we going to, and what's going on. What's going on right now? Y'all don't know what's going on. I'm trying to inform y'all. Dude, same old story. But y'all turn the page already. What you mean turn the page? You want us to turn the page on slavery? Quit talking about slavery and turn the page. That's what you're telling me to do? This guy belongs to the psych ward. I used to be a part of psych ward druggies. I've been in a psych ward before. I was actually a servant in the psych ward. I was serving the other psych patients medications, and I was cleaning up behind them and, feeding them and stuff like that. I understand there's a lot of people, I know what you mean, that's lost, that's mentally disturbed. They ain't, mentally fit to fit themselves in society. I understand those type of people, bro. That's why Trump is gonna come back and make America great again. He finna do the what do you call it? The special need act. For all the people that got special needs, the government just gonna give y'all a check every month to go be able to go buy y'all some clothes and some ice cream and cake and some candy, and y'all be able to walk through the malls of America and just be happy. Be happy with yourself. You'll have an unlimited swipe card to buy yourselves whatever you want. Donald Trump's gonna do the special need act. Like, I can't wait. You need to go back in there. I need to go back in where I don't want to go back in there, dog. Like, since my release, I've been running, man. I've been running, and I've been running. You trying to drag others down with you. Ain't that right? People like you will always hold your people back. Oh my God. I'm here to wake up my people. People like you are the ones that try to encourage our people to participate in the system. Encourage our people to go to school and get in debt. Encourage our people to be workers and listen to y'all and work for y'all and make y'all rich, but not make themselves happy. See, people like you are the reason why our culture is down. People like you are the ones that play a part in the system that make people like us, you don't understand. And I don't want to, it's kind of, you not me and I ain't you. You know what I mean? You live your life, I live my life. My life is abundantly blessed, and yours is abundantly stressed. I don't know how the fuck what the fuck you got going on. But everything in my life is paid for. And I got plenty more money to buy more. And I make plenty of money every day to do anything else I want to do. I'm a minority and don't believe in that life. That's cool. But why do you consider yourself a minority? Do you know the real definition of minority? That's a person who can't make decisions for themselves, so they need other people to do it for them. Are you a minority? Are you really a minority? Because if you really knew the true definition of the word minority, I don't think you'll identify yourself as a minority. And because I'm a indigenous brown-skinned man, a Negro of America. I come from the Negro race. Negroes. See, I don't know what happened to that race of people. I don't know what happened to the conversation of the Negroes. But I am from the generation of Negroes. And I'll never let my generation die. See, there's generations of niggas. There's generations of African Americans. I'm not a part of those races. I'm a Negro. And I don't know where my people went to, where they disappeared to, but I know I stand right now. I feel like I'm standing in this world by myself, like I'm the only Negro that's still living. Like, and everybody else done died, and all their descendants is African Americans, black people. I'm a Negro. I'm a Negro. And I would like to be identified by the race of people that I was born to be. A lot of people don't understand that America tried to erase their wrongs right in our face. But then they end up becoming even wronger when they try to erase their wrongs, and they don't even understand that they even worse than what it was in the beginning. I'd rather be called a Negro than to be called an African American. I'm not from Africa. My mama not from Africa. My grandmama not from Africa. My great-grandmama not from Africa. My great-great-grandmama not from Africa. So why would I consider myself to be an African American? I don't understand y'all, man. They done stripped us from our identity. They done stripped us from our history. They done stripped us from, we don't even know ourselves. It's so sad. And you get mad at me because I do, but then at the same time, you don't know yourself. So you running around here trying to confuse the others and trying to make them believe that they don't know themselves. But that's kind of hard for me to believe when I already know where I come from and who I am and why I am the man that I am, because I got generations and generations of men before me that was just like me. Yeah, I'm 10 times smarter, 10 times better, 10 times harder. I work 10 times harder. I'm just 10 times better, man. I'm a part of what the definition of evolution is. How your family members over generations and generations become smarter, stronger. You know what I mean? I don't have no African descent nowhere in my bloodline. I'm Negro. I'm Negro. I'm the Negroids that they seen walking, roaming the Americas when they got here. I'm Negroid. A dark-skinned Indian. Yeah, that's what you want to identify me as. I'm an Indian. A Choctaw Indian. I know where I come from. We from the Choctaw Nation. Real Choctaws. You know what a Choctaw is? Uh-huh. Choctaw. We from the Choctaw. Yeah. Y'all always hear about the Idahos and the Cherokees and the Blackfoots. Those ain't real. Those ain't real Indian names. The Salmon Whales, and those ain't real Indian names. Have you ever go across the Mason-Dixon in the Choctaw territory? They do not tell y'all how the Choctaws, the real Indians, fought to the death. And they did not accept nothing that the white man was trying to offer them. They didn't want them on their land. They fought to the death. Only thing different is that white folks had technology. They had guns, and the damn us, we had bows and arrows and darts. But the more I try to tell people how we was conquered, raped, destroyed, beaten, hung, for years and years, we were still being beaten and hung because they couldn't get rid of us. They couldn't get rid of us. They knew who we was. You can tell, man, the Negro people from the African people is two different races of people. I can live off the land and be satisfied. It's in my human nature to be one with this earth in America. You deserve MAGA and everything coming. Man, if we don't get MAGA, we're going to go into a civil war in America. That's what y'all fail to realize. The Democrats is going to drive us into civil war. We ain't accepting that shit no more. You know what I really want to see? I really want to see how the Democrat Party, where the Democrat Party is going to have this Democratic National Convention at. Because I truly believe they're not going to be able to host it in Chicago. You deserve MAGA. Make America great again. Press the like button. Tell me why you don't like Kamala. Tell me why you do like Kamala. I know 150 black men that Kamala has prosecuted. Sunk to prison, federal prison, was on their cases. Why? You know, a lot of people say, man, some people got deeper personal reasons why they don't support some people. When you know some people are just fake, some people are puppets, some people, you know, what they trying to do and what they trying to sell us ain't real. Just answer this one question. What have the Democratic Party or anyone inside of the Democratic Party has done for any one of us in the last 8 years? Unless you're getting paid to support them. Yeah, your organization got a donation from them. Yeah, you're getting paid to support them. It don't take a rocket scientist to figure this shit out. I just thought that this would be an interesting video to put out there. And before we go, we're gonna come back on one more time, and we're gonna talk about Willie Brown.
Shamed out of discussing this by people who say it's slut shaming or it's not relevant. It is relevant when a young candidate tries to sleep her way into politics and into power. And that is what it appears Kamala Harris did when she was a young political aspirant in San Francisco, when she had an affair with a man 30 years older than she was. She was 29 to 30, and he was 60. Willie Brown, who was like the godfather of San Francisco politics and very well known. And sure enough, that relationship paid dividends for her in more ways than one.
That's right, Megan. As you noted yesterday, it's completely fair game to talk about Willie Brown. It's how Kamala Harris went from a relatively unknown Alameda County prosecutor to the forefront of San Francisco's social life and politics. Willie Brown was the most powerful politician in California when Kamala Harris started dating him. And he also gave her a number of positions. We're talking about $400,000 back in the 1990s. That's almost $800,000 in today's money. He appointed her to those positions that paid her lucratively. He gave her the keys to a BMW, and he went around to the most powerful and most wealthy circles of San Francisco and California politics, with Kamala Harris on his arm, opening up the doors to her professional and political future.
So it was back when, again, she was 30 years old. He was, at the time, Democratic Speaker of the California State Assembly. Going here from Good evening, and welcome to a program devoted entirely to lefties losing it.
Lefties is losing it.
Lefties with a man who identifies as a woman who tries to guilt a woman into not calling the cops because she's black, and how dare she, as a black woman, call the cops on a trans woman. It's all about intersectional victimhood with these characters. And then when that tactic doesn't work, he really loses it. Luckily, this is a looking for problems and you're purposely antagonizing me. Am I? So I'm gonna give you a minute and then I'm gonna call the cops. Because you was going in that direction and now you're following me to this location and I'm gonna stand here for 1 minute. Okay, what's your name? What's your name? What's your name? Okay, you're calling the cops. Okay, continue to walk. We're at 37 seconds. I'm going to hang. I'm going to stop recording at 1 minute and then we call the cops if you're still in my area. And you can't be on a sign you're following me. Honey. It's not honey anymore. It's not honey. It's not honey. We're just going to patiently wait for the cops. Yes, we are. This is. You're a hypocrite and you're a little hypocrite. And you're a hypocrite. Got PTSD. Okay. They're all trapping today. That's not very ladylike, man.
Oh my God. I could have not been a spectator witnesses walking by, seeing that tranny go off on that black woman. I would have knocked his ass out. I would have walked by and whoop bop, knocked his motherfucking ass out. I wish the fuck I would have seen some shit like that. I would have knocked his ass out. You finna attack this woman? I'm finna knock your ass out. Fight a man. Goddamn, man. I would have knocked his ass out. I couldn't have walked past no shit like this. He risked his life getting ready in the morning.
Chinese, and he explains why the Asian community is so successful, particularly here in the West, even when they come here with nothing.
I'm 2% Chinese, so don't tell me I can't identify as Asian when a man with 0% of a vagina can identify as a woman. Now what? Full-blooded Asians are too humble to do this, so let me explain to you why Asian families don't have half the issues of you other people. We are the wealthiest group, do the least amount of crime, have the least amount of pronoun warriors, and have the lowest unemployment rate while you big back bums sit on the couch. We Asians emphasize discipline, education, and a strong family unit instead of the victim Olympics. Notice how you don't see Asians complaining about injustices of the past or apologizing for what our ancestors did? Why would I feel guilty about what Genghis Khan did? Yeah, universities make us score significantly higher than other students to get into the same school. We have no choice but to be elite. Oh, Xavier, you're only Asian when it's convenient, and y'all only know what a woman is when it's convenient. Goofy.
Now, let's hear from the woman who's going to save the world from fascism, according to the movie. Here is Kamala speaking out not against radical Islamic terrorism and illegal immigration. No. Here she says we must have the courage to object to the terms radical Islamic terrorism and illegal aliens. Talking at a mosque in 2016, and the timing is important because that was at the height of Islamic State's reign of terror, where they brutally murdered those they considered non-believers, where they abducted, raped, and tortured thousands of women and children, including Yazidis. And there is Kamala in 2016 objecting to the term radical Islamic terrorism. But that won't stop the enthusiasm from the useful idiots on the left. At least this next one is a happy camper. This is never Trumper. It likes a dance. Some of them are miserable. This one is it's happy. So this is really who Donald Trump shows us as running me.
Black Republican. A never Trump guy. Look at this.
Exercise is good, and so is humor. Let's have a laugh now with comic Nick Peterson. Here he talks about the benefits of having a brain and thinking.
I used to believe everything I'd seen on the news, but that's before I discovered a brain. A brain is meant for everyday use. Those living with moderate to severe stupidity have seen immediate improvement in common sense with a brain. I thought the government had my best interests at heart, and then a friend told me about a brain. Talk to your doctor about what news sources you obey. A brain may also lower your desire to take life-altering advice from celebrities. Getting lectured about my carbon footprint from people with 3 private jets used to make sense. But thanks to a brain, now I can think for myself every day. When my disregard for third-grade biology began to flare up, I knew it was time for a brain. Do not try a brain if you're allergic to a brain. Common side effects may include accountability, discernment, homeschooling your kids, a better understanding of economics, awareness of the stupidity of socialism, and diarrhea. For tethering yourself to reality, the only no-brainer is choosing a brain. Ask your doctor if a brain is right for you. They didn't take long after Kamala Harris was installed as the Democrats' presidential candidate for the media to start rewriting her history. Apparently, she was never the border czar. She never had the most left-wing voting record in the Senate, and she was never considered a liability in the Biden administration. Those verifiable facts are all dismissed as right-wing conspiracies, as is the fact that she helped raise bail money for funds during the BLM riot. Look at this headline claiming Trump falsely accuses Harris of donating to Minnesota Freedom Fund, bailing out dangerous criminals. When did Kamala do just that? The tweet is still up. Tipping now to the Minnesota Freedom Fund to help post bail for those protesting on the ground in Minnesota. She posted that at the height of the BLM riots, and guess what? That link is still active. You can still donate, and there is Kamala's smiling face on the donation page. And Trump's campaign is doing its best to prevent this bit of history being memory hold. This is among their most devastating ads. Harris selling big out on ads that you're able to chip in now to the Minnesota Freedom Fund to help post bail for those protesting on the ground in Minnesota. Thanks to Harris's promotion, the group reportedly raised $35 million in just a few weeks.
Veronica Ford, charged with second-degree murder for stabbing a friend to death. She got out of jail too. A twice-convicted rapist, currently charged with kidnapping and sexual assault, and he walks out too.
The Freedom Fund rape and donation was promoted by many, including now Vice President Kamala Harris.
John Michael Tillman shot and killed a passenger on a train platform after reportedly being released from jail 3 weeks prior. All thanks to the Minnesota Freedom Fund.
Donovan Boone was charged with breaking into the home of an ex-girlfriend and choking her. Freedom Fund bailed him out for $3,000 cash, and he hasn't shown up for court since.
I often don't have a charge specifics. Glad that's allowed. The Hennepin County Attorney called out the Minnesota Freedom Fund for bailing Mosley out of jail twice previously, even though he was arrested for having a gun in the courthouse.
The Minnesota Freedom Fund, which pays cash bail for low-income criminals, paid Tibbs' entire $10,000 bail in cash. 11 days later, police found a man bleeding from the head and ears in this alley. Police were able to arrest Tibbs in connection to his violent assault.
Howard was arrested and charged with second-degree murder. The Minnesota Freedom Fund acknowledged supporting Howard's bail.
This is it. This is what we find out in Western. Student automatic efficiency. I can say it's good, understood.
Excuse me, we got your real info.
Homes.com. If you have a 700 plus credit score, you qualify for Chase's new
Yep, me too.
program where you can access to 100.
Let's go, black men. Donald Trump. Yep.
0% interest rates to fund
Support me. Help me.
that you want all in the next 30 days. Chase's new Minnesota Freedom Fund acknowledged supporting Howard's bail.
The affluent white female liberals, for short, they are mobilizing for the Democrats, and they have a compelling message. I mean, who would be swayed by this?
This is a message for every single person who looks like me, specifically white women. It's time. This is no longer about politics, and you get to right the wrongs of 2016 when you didn't put a woman in the White House who was overly qualified. Now's your chance.
And God, I don't look like her.
is no longer about red versus blue. This is our lives that we are playing with. And the piece that you have control over is who you vote for in November. You need to find a spine to stand up against the white men in your life who are telling you who should be your president.
Yes, and you're the white man, and listen to this white woman. Makes perfect sense. And here is another totally sane white woman who has a message for America. Here is Comet Chelsea Hadley's rant about J.D. Vance's childless uploading habits.
I mean, my God, are we tired? You sad, diet, Mountain Dew, drinking, couch humping, dolphin porn aficionado, all this childless cat and dog ladies are going to go from childless and crushing it to childless and crushing you in November.
And here is another white woman, this time a deranged MSNBC contributor, claiming that J.D. Vance's comments are motivated by, you guessed it, white supremacy. Nobody wants more white children.
The stats are there. More and more Americans choosing not to have kids, which again emphasizes why J.D. Vance's comments about childless Americans, childless cat ladies, can be so quickly damaging.
So what's interesting is this is this nativism that comes from an authoritarian playbook, right? That there need to be more white children, right? That's the idea that there's, this is about great replacement theory, racism, right? This is what this is. So don't misunderstand it for him wanting more children. He wants a certain kind of, racist thing.
He's saying that J.D. Vance is the father of 3 biracial children. His children are not white, you dim-witted race baiting simpleton. And look, it's not just white women for Kamala. The Democrats have really embraced their segregationist past, and they also think that they call white dudes for Harris. This group, and yes, they do look exactly as you would expect. Maybe there's a lot of white women in the group created in the name of progress. Let's hear from these white dudes, starting with actor Jeff Bridges.
I'm white, I'm a dude, and I'm whatever. Over the last few years, I've been thinking a lot about men. I'm not sure if you guys can recall that feeling you had on the night of Tuesday, November 8th. I stood over my quick bed and I wept.
Stood over his kid